Okay friends, so we are jumping right into me working on Saturday and Sunday my project. So I'm starting with my timeline here that I had already created last year on the Mako sticker paper. It was already like sized. I just had to trim it down and attach it. Here I had already added some adhesive and I'm just putting my photo on the back, and then I'm just trimming around the edges and repunching the holes so that this is done, complete, and ready to go. I do want to say, if you want to see my process for all the videos in the past, they are on from last year, so you can see all my thought processes while I was creating these. So I'm just following the ones that I already created last year. So here I'm just kind of trying to sort everything. I've cut out all of the photo editing, the photo placement decisions mostly. I'm adding the sticker paper here on the large Saturday Stories card, just showing you kind of how I push it down with the Cricut tool that I use there, and then the non-stick scissors to help trim the edges off. It's super, super sticky stuff. So just taking the embellishments that I had already selected and kind of trying to decide what photos they will work with and where I can place them. You can see I've got like a blank on the front page there. I've got to find a patterned piece of paper. So I'm just trying to find where things can go. So I am kind of jumping around a little bit, and a lot will be skipped in an effort to not keep this video super, super long. You can see I need to find content for the back of that, but I'm kind of wanting to get everything for the Sunday part also in the pockets, and then I'll kind of do all of my embellishing sort of all at once, since I'm working on everything in a much delayed time frame and just all at the same time. I'm kind of working in batches here. So one thing that I did with Sunday is I printed kind of too many 3x4s for how many spaces I allotted, because no matter what, there was at least one see-through pocket, and I had like a lot of 3x4s and not enough 4x4s and 4x6s to help fill out the other pockets in the page protectors. So you can see there I considered maybe adding the 2 3x4s of the cats together. Those photos are going to end up getting replaced with different sizing. The one of Cypher, my black tuxedo cat, I'm going to actually reprint that one into a 4x4, I think. And then the one of Tiger Lily climbing around on the bed, that's going to get replaced with a different one that's a 4x6. And even that shot there, you see me placing down of myself crawling into bed. It was like a selfie shot in vertical mode, so that I could crop it into a 3x4. That's going to get replaced with a different one from that same day that's 4x6. So doing the same thing here, just trying to figure out which embellishments are going to go where on which photos, what makes sense. So just trying to, stick something in a pocket while I keep thinking about it. So there you can see I've pulled out that Paige Evans transparency. I really loved that tied in with the Heidi Swap paper in the project this year. It was bright and fun and colorful. It went well with the colors of the kit, and it just really tied something together. So I'll look for something like that to match my colors for the 2024 project, and it's something I believe I did in 2022 as well. I just happened to find some, I think, Vicky Bouton paper that worked really well with the colors of the kit that year. And having something where you can include as at least a 3x4, or back then I was doing the 10x8 album, so a 3x4 or a 4x4 or a 4x6 piece every day just ties the album together and adds continuity. So I'm just going through and adding these tags. This is on the outside, so I'm using red line tape, which feels excessive, but it's got a brad on there, so I don't want it to like catch on the page protectors or anything as things are getting like flipped around. And I love the color of that on there. And that is more Paige Evans patterned paper that I hadn't initially used in the project, but I just kind of had to dig through my stash and find something that would work that was pretty plain. It kind of looked like it was watery, and that worked well just as a base to add some tags to. So that worked out well. You might have seen, or you're seeing here, I'm going to add some red line tape to this chipboard circle and add it to the 3x4 photo there. I'm actually going to remove that and end up putting it on a different card somewhere else later. So here I'm just showing you kind of how I fold back a little tiny piece of this Mako sticker paper so that I can get myself aligned and started. This one went down straight, but it also had that bubble, and I don't usually get bubbles, so I was a little bit frustrated, but I was able to smooth it out pretty well. There's like a crease, but you know, who cares? Not a huge deal, but I just trimmed around. And then here I had a part of this project planned this whole time where I wanted to showcase what I was watching. So you're seeing a little snippet there, but I had saved for the month of April, and even like it might be like I was catching up on like the next episode of a series like Yellowstone or 1923 Yellowstone, or a new show that just came out or a movie or something. But I had saved screenshots of like the movie posters basically of everything so that I could gather them all up and include them. And I originally wasn't sure how I was going to include them. I cropped them almost all to 2.5 inches wide. And I thought this is perfect. So I didn't have any panoramic spacing, which I'll talk about later in the final wrap up. But that was really nice just to collect it all. I didn't really have to write about it. I felt like it was pretty obvious. But one of them I couldn't really crop to 2.5, the Yellowstone one. So I had to like kind of finagle it in there and crop it and make it a little bit smaller once it was printed. So just gluing those to the back of the cards there and getting everything all trimmed up. And really loving how that is looking actually. And then grabbing my last piece of 4x12 Heidi Swap paper there that's going to get cropped and added in later. So here I'm just kind of showing you how I peel off the sticker paper that I use. I've shared it multiple times. It's that scrapbook.com label roll that you see in the middle there. I have it in a 4-inch wide and a 2-inch wide. I love to use that for my see-through pieces to make them fully adhesive. You're not using rolling dot adhesive or sticker tape. When you make the entire thing a sticker, then the adhesive isn't visible because the whole thing's a sticker. So I lay the pieces on there and trim around them off camera, and I highly recommend it. It's an investment. They're like 18 bucks a roll, but they last forever, and that stuff's not coming off. It's super, super tacky. So here you can see I'm doing the same thing with this hard no tag. That was about our flooded basement day. And then I decided to rip off that real life chipboard and layer those together to make that little card. So just continuing the same little treatment with those little tiny mini tags that are so cute, and that ribbon. I think I got that at like a craft store like Michael's or Joann's. And just using red line tape, I'm putting all the chipboard pieces and even like the paper tags on the outside of the page protectors. Just adds more dimension. And then here I'm finally addressing this thing. It was a set of 7 craft pieces that you could buy last year with kit. I had already created it last year. I'm just adding a title using this stamp set. This is from 2021. I'll see if I can find it and link it for you guys. But I decided just to go with a black title. I was deciding between currently, around here, or this week. But I liked that the this week didn't have to be layered down over something. Like currently the Y would have come down over top of something. So I grabbed my stamping tool here and I started to put it vertically, but the little bumper at the top hit the stamp. So I turned it sideways. And then I just picked up the stamp and I'm using my black VersaFine ink there. And I think I do a couple inkings off camera to show that there. And I started to push it down, and then I remembered I have this cool little stamping pressure tool that really helps you put nice even pressure. And like I said, I'm just going to ink it up a few times. And I really love how that looks. It looks so cool. So I'll share a link for that pressure tool. They're really inexpensive, but I got that through scrapbook.com. And then just using my cleaning stuff there to start to wipe off my stamp. So next we're moving on to my title page, which I had intentionally waited till the end since it's vellum so it wouldn't get ruined in the album. I'm going to punch holes. I'm just using my punch template there to make sure everything gets aligned. But for some reason they weren't both going in together, so I just punched it separately. And then I'm adding my Week in the Life chipboard there with the ribbon to the front. And then I have some pattern paper that I cut out and put on the back from that Heidi Swap paper, which helps tie in that floral everywhere, so I love that. And then here I took an envelope from one of last year's story kits. Oh, I'm going to pop that in the album first, sorry. And I'm going to make my own page attacher at some point. Oh, sorry, that's what I forgot. I'm going to punch holes here and work on this highlights page. I love how this comes out. So I lined those two up together to make sure that they were like super straight. Got the measurements. I just wanted to see how everything looked together there in the front of the album. And while I printed my date titles for the album opening chipboard, I also created a book plate from some old word art that Allie had shared with us from a few years back. So I printed one in black and one in, I tried to recreate the teal blue that's on the album, but I didn't quite get the color right, so I went with the black, and then I used the 2023 chipboard that came in the kit. On the outside, I used red line tape and pop dots to adhere it to the outside. So now I'm finally making my own page attacher using the acetate paper. So I'm going to cut it to 1.5. It's already 8.5 inches tall. So it's 1.5 inches wide. And then I'm going to add some red line adhesive to the back of the envelope instead of the clear piece, just because it's easier to see. I'm just rubbing that in. And then I'm punching holes in the acetate, and then I'm going to release the release paper and just attach it right down. It's so easy to make your own if you don't have the 6-hole page attachers, and these are really strong. So I'll make sure that those are shared and linked for you. It's the same 12x12 acetate that Allie and everyone uses. And just popping that in the back of the album. So here's where I'm printing and trimming my photos for the highlights page. I didn't expect to love this as much as I did, and it wasn't as hard to find photos as I thought. I was hoping to use people, but people were really hard to fit into a 1.5 inch size. So I just went with plants and rainy scenes and things, but I just love it. So I'm kind of missing the fact that we didn't have pattern paper for the 2024 collection. But here you can see I am adding, instead of using adhesive on all the photos, I just decided to add adhesive to the pattern paper. Since these are on the outside, I wanted to have dimension by each one being stuck down separately. I did consider using pop dots, but I went against it. So there I've jumped ahead and I put it between all the lines so I can attach them all down where they're supposed to be and keep them really well aligned. And I thought I was going to need to release them a little bit at a time, but as I go I just rip everything off on the top and bottom and then just remove the center ones as I need to. So just kind of learning as I go. So I put the 1/4 inch over the lines so that it covers both sides of each photo. So really happy with how this worked out, and I do have a digital version of this, so I'm considering making like a small 6x8 version for this year's album, but we'll see. Every album is always a little bit different. So here I am just adding that last photo down. Everything looks nice and straight, and then just trimming off the edges, making it nice and clean. And then I'll just repunch the holes again and then pop that in the album. So I'll share a little bit of a walkthrough with you of what Saturday and Sunday look like, and the title pages and the highlight pages and everything. And then I will do a full album walkthrough for everything on another day, so that I can look through it all together at once. And then lastly, I'm just adding one little sticker to that floral little piece of paper just to finish it off, and that is my last embellishment. Okay, friends, my project is done. I'm so excited. So I'm just going to do a little sneak peek of the 6 and 7 day, and then I'll do a full walkthrough of the entire thing. I will also do like a little mini thing about my title page. So you saw that. I'm going to jump here to day 6. This thing is so chunky. It's these guys, I think, making it the worst in the middle, but it's okay. Okay, so here we are. We're at day 6. So we've got our cardstock piece here. Added one of the chipboard flowers like I did with all the rest. Added my timeline. Photo on the back was a quick photo I snapped of the cat as I was leaving. They like to hang out on our stairs in the hallway. So I had explained my photos before, but I added this die cut here around an alarm because I forgot to set mine, so it's kind of funny. I had one of these chipboards every day, so this one says the basics because I'm just like sweeping the floors at work. Like you can't see it here, and I didn't really tell the story, but there's like paper everywhere. Someone took a bunch of paper and tore it up and threw it around, and it was very frustrating. Went and got a haircut. So here I've already changed, and we're just chilling, watching a movie. Did my same treatment here. Added a chipboard. Added my journaling. And then here, even though I hadn't done these at the same time, I was able to kind of still go back in my memories and fill them out. And I did have to change a few photos. So I just needed content to fill out the pages. Like in all the rest, I think I have, you know, full-size photos that are the full 8.5 by 11 or 8.25. I needed more 4x6s and 4x4s. So this is actually a photo from April, not this week. I had to go back in through and look for stuff. Like I was late to work, so I wasn't sitting here and taking like photos of me hanging out with my cat on the bed, but it's believable. I won't remember it 5 years from now. I don't think there's anything wrong with it because it's from around the same time frame, but I really, really needed more photos. I just didn't have any more pattern paper to add, things like that. So I added my tag here. And then I stretched out some photos. This was a photo from the outside of our house that was taken around that same time frame. And then a photo of the cat that I had taken that day that I had not originally printed. I couldn't do my food treatment like I did for all the rest, but I left the card there anyway, and then used a piece of chipboard. These were from the Now story kit. I had to go back and look. I had used this pattern paper treatment a lot as this long block just because I didn't have enough photo content for it. Did the journaling now, not back then. So most of the other parts were done. These, I was able to still go back and tell that story even without anything written down. Had a nice panoramic here of the cat and the kids. And then moving into day 7. So same treatment, little flower there. A photo from the outside with the garden with the lilies starting to bloom. And then again, everything's the same, like with tags and the chipboard pieces and everything. I love the hard no. So just telling the story about our flooded basement. It doesn't look terrible here because I couldn't take photos in like the chaos when we were really trying to fix it. Used an UGG chipboard there. Photos of the kids in their rooms, being the cats at dinner, the kids getting ready for us to take them home. And And here, again, I just needed more filler, so just more photos of my cats. I did not really have photos of the kids. It was terrible. That's why I was so upset about how this project ended up, because on Sunday I had planned to take photos of everyone and include more stuff. So I added my journaling. I still had typed up stuff on the photos. And in the back here, I switched out a different photo of myself in bed. This one made me look a little bit more sad, but I was able to crop it into a 4x6 instead of the 3x4 I had before, just because I needed it. Did the same thing here with a die cut instead of chipboard. And then a shot of our dinner. Again, with the floral paper treatment, journaling. And then one thing that I had planned to do, but wasn't sure how I was going to incorporate it, I wasn't sure if I was going to just do a bunch of 3x4 pockets or not, was just something of all the things that I'd been watching in April and even during this week. So the one that wasn't included was Ghosted, because I did include that the previous day, day 6, but it was the perfect spot because I just did not have any more panoramic photos or content to put here. And so this was a great way to put those photos. Added my chipboard with the Heidi Swap puppy sticker saying watching, and then I finished this off. Love the way this came out. I wish I had enough stuff to create one for every day like Allie might have tried to do. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look, or maybe other people did. I don't get enough mail. I don't even get good junk mail. I don't care about saving my junk mail, so I just keep enough, you know, that works for me. You know, I got something in the mail from Sephora. I got, you know, bought something from Under Armour and Torrid, some food things. I had gotten, you know, my new flower spikes, a prescription label, and in the back had used that pattern paper. Here you saw me use this pocket, and then I just tucked in some things that I thought would be fun to keep or look back on later. Nothing extra special. Let me jump to the very front of the album here, where I'm just going to show a follow-up to me working on the highlights page. Oh, I love the way that came out. So my title page here, I was bummed this came out a little bit crooked. I tried to put it down straight, but definitely went down a little bit crooked. I tried stamping on here and didn't work out, so I used just some photo paper with some sticky stuff behind it to adhere it down so it's really solid. I don't want it to like peel up or anything, and I think that looks nice and professional and finished because it is typed instead of stamped, so I'm happy with that. And in case someone just flips this by itself, I just traced it before I glued it down with the pattern paper that I used all throughout the album, and added one of these round stickers that I used throughout the album. And then here, I wasn't sure how I wanted to use this. I did consider maybe printing like 3 photos or playing with different photos, but I ended up, I even thought about trying to do one of every family member and then each cat, but I didn't have good photos that would be able to be cropped to this 1.5 inch by 6 inch size. So I just went and I actually did pick one photo from each day. I didn't cheat for this one. And I picked a photo that could be cropped well, or that I hadn't used yet. Most of these did get used, but this one I'm pretty sure did not. And this one I used differently because it was horizontal and cropped a different way. Actually, this one was used horizontally, and so was this. So I flipped some, but I really, really love how that came out with that like cross section of photos in that size. And it's just like a little sneak peek of what you're getting in advance, because I did consider putting it at the end, but I liked having it so that the vellum could look brighter with the white piece of paper behind it, instead of being like busy vellum with writing on top of busy transparency behind it. So really, really happy with how that came out, and really, really glad this is done. I will be sharing a full walkthrough soon. Bye for now.